Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, bedheads. Click. How you doing today? Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. So this calls for a happy dance. We like happy dances, right? This mug came from a member of our community. How cute is that? It totally calls for happy dance. So we are going to utilize this energy that Steve Judd, astrologer Steve Judd, talks about, this being the energy today and for the next 2 days, that this energy we haven't had for the last 77 years. It happened 77 years ago. All right. This is breakthrough energy. So I'm taking a little break from the last two withdrawal consent energy clearings. And we're going to do this for the next 3 days. Now, it actually may take me a little longer than 3 days because I'm not even sure I can get through this entire episode that I have planned in 30 minutes, which is going to be my goal. If not, I'm going to stop it after 30 minutes. I am going to show you at the end what I got from a crystal shop yesterday because I was talking about that in my video. And then we'll start with the rest of the episode tomorrow. It will end with asking the lead team questions about what we're talking about. Okay. So we're going to use this breakthrough energy to talk about the golden future. All right. And I want to take what I did is I spent quite a bit of time with Mabel AI talking about what Steve is, I had her look at what Steve is talking about in terms of this breakthrough energy. I took a whole bunch of pictures of stuff from the golden future so we can get a sense of what Diana Cooper is talking about in terms of the golden future. And I want to assess where we are today, some of the breakdowns that we're witnessing, some of the transitions we're witnessing, and how is that helping us get here? So that's why it calls for a happy dance, because I think that is going to be kind of a fun discussion to have, is what are we witnessing today and how is that helping us get here? I've been wanting to have this conversation for quite a while, and I thought, well, why not have it during this breakthrough energy period, which I think we want to call attention. We're going to pay more attention to this breakthrough energy because we want to get here, right? So we're going to utilize that energy today. Okay, so basically, I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. You guys get it? I'm sure you do. Hopefully I explained it okay. So basically, let me just remind you from what Steve Judd has to say, and I will post the episode below where I got this information in the description, okay? So Steve Judd describes May 17th to the 19th as breakthrough energy. He describes this period as a threshold moment for humanity, literally today through the 19th, okay? But we're, again, I've talked about this over the last couple days. I think that energy probably starts picking up before the 17th and then starts slowing down after the 19th. But this right now is the peak time. So this is a perfect time for us to be having conversation about what we're seeing in the world today and how we're going to the golden future, because that's the energy we want to focus on, the golden future. But it's helpful for me to see, well, how are we getting there? How are we utilizing what the transition is right now and how we're going there? Okay, so we're going to see if we can make some connections. And you let me know if you agree with these connections or not. Okay? So Steve says Mercury and Uranus energy is connected to sudden realizations, perspective shifts, and seeing life differently. So in this episode number 1 that I'm calling, I don't know, what am I going to call it? Why the world feels so different right now? Something like that. What if humanity is not simply falling apart, but what if people are emotionally outgrowing the systems modern life was built around in order for us to move in this direction? Highly recommend this book, by the way. In fact, I feel like we read this a year ago in the Spirit Circle. I feel like I'm going to go back, and it's still in there. If you ever join the Spirit Circle, the practice, level 2, you will always have access to this. I feel like I'm going to go back and listen to my videos because I want to see from a year out, since I read this, how different it feels right now. I bet it feel like if I read this today, I bet I would interpret this much different today. Lucy's running around. I feel, yeah, I'd probably interpret this much different today than I did even a year ago. And I might end up reading it. I just have so many books to read. Okay, so the Golden Future Material, the book, describes humanity moving away from fear-based living. Come here, Luce. There she is. Fear-based living, emotional disconnection. We're moving away from this. Blind obedience, nonstop pressure, and competition. Happy dance, happy dance. Humanity moves towards, according to Diana Cooper, emotional awareness, intuition, conscious community, authenticity, calmer living, stronger human connection. Okay, so this breakthrough energy that we have right now, hey, you, hello. She's very dramatic. Not like her mama at all. Listen to that. I'm just touching her. Hey, sissy, come here. Come say hi. Come say hi. You're being hyper. Wow. She's very vocal and dramatic. Hi. Okay. Anyways, so this breakthrough energy is, again, I want to tie the connection between the breakthrough energy and the golden future, may help us. So this is how you can think about these next couple days. Hey, skedaddle. What no longer feels emotionally healthy? These are good questions for you to ask for yourself, okay? I'm going to do the same. And if these are good journaling questions for us too. What no longer feels emotionally healthy? What no longer feels sustainable? And what no longer feels truly human? Individually, this is a powerful time to notice where your own life feels emotionally out of balance. So where does your own life feel emotionally out of balance right now? This is good breakthrough energy. If you can look at it, maybe you can clear some of those things and then move on, right? And where, let's see, okay. And where you may crave more peace. So where are you craving more peace, grounding, meaning, and authenticity? So maybe think about those things, okay? Collectively, humanity may begin realizing it cannot build a healthy future on exhaustion, fear, overstimulation, and disconnection. How are we going to get here if we are building a future on exhaustion, fear, overstimulation, and disconnection? We're not. We're not going to do that. Instead of focusing only on what may be collapsing, we are going to be focused on what humanity may be learning right now in order for the healthier future that we're looking for in the golden future. Okay? So let's look at some of the main talking points between basically what she says and what we might be seeing today that's helping us get here. All right. So the first one, communities, Diana says, communities will become more conscious, locally connected, and less controlled. Rigid top-down systems are going away. Cool. People becoming more discerning, intuitive, and personally responsible for their choices. So today, what's happening today, right? That may help us get there. Remember, we've kind of have to break down some things. We can't stay where we're at if we're going to get to this higher level, right? So what we're seeing today is distrust in governments, big time, media, distrust in media, distrust in corporations and institutions. And again, these are just ideas that I explored with AI. So please let me know if these feel right to you. Add to the conversation, because these are just one way to look at what Diana is saying. Okay. Again, she is saying that we are moving to a more conscious, locally connected. Even though we're very globally connected, we are moving towards a more locally connected community. And I am going to be working with Marcia to figure out a way for us to help us in this community get more locally connected in a safe way. Okay. We are going to be doing that over the next, between now and the first of the year is my goal. Okay. So that we in this community can start connecting with those in the community more locally, like where you live. So people who live near me, we can start connecting, So the fact that we need to get to that place, the conscious, locally connected, and less controlled, and no top-down systems, that today may be pressuring humanity to stop blindly outsourcing truth and authority. And we've been doing that for a while. I did that my whole life. I did that my whole life. For the most part, not everything, but you know what I mean. I mean, I really thought our governments had our best interests in mind. And yeah, I did start over the last 10 years or so questioning the food industries, like what the heck, what's going on? And why, like Europe has, I would still question their food industries, but why do they have way less ingredients and we have like all of these manufactured ingredients? What the hell, So you do start questioning all of those things. It's just now we're questioning everything. We've been talking about that, right? Question everything. This time right now may be helping people develop stronger discernment and conscious responsibility. Conscious responsibility. We just did 3 days in a row of breaking unconscious contracts. And those were amazing, you guys. I feel so good. I have to say, I feel so good. And it's funny to me that way less people listen to those videos or participate in those videos, the clearing videos, than the drama ones. You guys, we have to start listening. We have to go to the healing videos. No more drama. No more drama. Go back. If you have not done those clearings, please go back and do those. Okay, from the last 3 days. I still have 2 more to do, and they will come on the back end of this series, as long as something else doesn't come up. Okay, Diana also says communication will become more truthful, heart-centered, and less fear-based in the golden future. Happy dance. Happy dance. This calls for a happy dance. Click. Okay. Humanity will become more conscious about emotional and mental consumption. Already doing that. Many of us are already doing that. Today, many people realize information is emotionally manipulative. I'm just starting to learn that. We've been talking about the Committee of 300, right? And regardless of what part of that is true and what part is not, it helped me see how commercials, movies are getting our consent on things. Many of you might have known that a long time ago. I was not aware of that. All right. Hence the last 3 energy clearings we did, just breaking the contracts that we unconsciously agreed to, which is why I think I feel so good. If you did the last 3, you know what I'm talking about. We have let go of so much over the last couple days. Okay, so fear and emotional messaging strongly affects behavior. We know that. Okay, people are becoming more aware of that. People are becoming more intentional about what they consume mentally and emotionally. I've heard many people recently talk about the difference in violent movies compared to when we were growing up. A lot of us who are Gen X, baby boomers. I mean, the violence today that's accepted is pretty unreal, actually. The violence, the sex, even like I started watching just because I do like this kind of stuff, but I started watching Game of Thrones again. I never finished the whole thing. I got through a couple seasons. I enjoyed it. But now I started watching it again from this new lens because I thought, okay, I just want to see. And I don't know, I'm still in the first season, but the abuse of women that's portrayed in that, the sexual content, it's just, it's totally over the top. It's over the top. And that stuff would have never been allowed when we were growing up. Ever. Not even in the theaters. So what the heck, you know? Look at what's happened. So just saying. Okay. So that's good. People are becoming more intentional about what we consume mentally and emotionally. Yeah, but you still got to, I think we're still doom scrolling, which is why people don't show up necessarily to videos that are more on the health related end of things. Especially the spiritual health, I guess. I guess a lot, we show up for a lot of health, tips and stuff, but so again, Diana says communication becomes more truthful, heart-centered, and less fear-based. She also says emotional balance, inner peace, and energetic harmony will become more important. Nervous system regulation becomes necessary for healthier communities. So will the show Game of Thrones still be appropriate in the golden future? I don't think so. I think we could still tell stories without so much violence and sex and abuse. I mean, the women are not treated well. So, but it's become acceptable. It's become acceptable when we watch that. Today's fear cycles and emotional overstimulation are exposing how dysregulated modern life has become. More people are prioritizing grounding, healing, and emotional stability. That's good because we have to actually see it, right? We have to see. We've been talking about this, like everybody's talking about how much anxiety is way more than it ever used to be. Just all the things. The younger kids on antidepressants, I'm on one. But I didn't get on one till, I was about 32. So that's a whole story. But so, yeah, we're noticing it. People are noticing it. We just have to get we have to get breakthrough. We have to break through. Again, the feeds on YouTube. I mean, everything. I mean, even the only way you guys listen to stuff is if we're dramatic about things. It's true. It's true. If we just put peace and love in the title, nope. Like 1/4 of you would show up. Peace and love. We'll get there. Diana says society becomes less centered around materialism and endless competition. Nice. Meaning and emotional well-being become more important than status. Today's financial pressure is forcing people to rethink what truly matters. So that's one way to look at the financial pressure that people are feeling, to think that might actually be a good thing. to get us towards the future. Okay, that's kind of the point of this conversation, is to say, okay, if we're feeling financial pressure today, that will help us become less materialistic and enough with the competition and the constant ads and all this kind of stuff, right? Maybe that's what it'll do. That'll help us get to the golden future. So many people may be realizing emotional well-being matters more than endless accumulation. I can't help but accumulate a ton of books right now, though. I just bought, let's see, I've got 5 over there I bought from Goodwill, and I have 2 over here I got at the Stone Shop. They were 75% off. I for some reason I'm accumulating a lot of, which is good, I think. I just feel like I need to have books. I need to have books right now. Okay, Diana says future societies become less driven by nonstop productivity and exhaustion. That's awesome. That's awesome. Constant burnout will no longer be seen as normal or healthy. I hope that's the case. I don't hang out with anybody younger right now. Well, actually I do. I have one friend who's 30 years my junior, and she's questioning, but she works very long hours. If I go out to dinner we do coffee now on Sundays, because to go out to dinner with her, I can't get together with her till like 7 p.m. I'm like, I'm not eating dinner at 7. I don't eat dinner at 7. So I like to eat when I'm hungry, but she works very long hours. But I know she's questioning it, but it's not changing, So I don't know how much it's changing for younger generations, especially with people feeling like they have to have 2 or 3 jobs, right? But that may be where the financial pressure has got to force people into whether or not, how much materialism is important to them, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? But I do love the idea that future societies will become less driven by nonstop productivity and exhaustion. So today's hustle culture is exposing the emotional cost of achievement-based living. Every time I go to Europe, and they take the siestas, for a couple hours every day. I'm like, dang, it's pretty cool. More people are slowing down and reevaluating how they want to live. Diana says younger generations will become more purpose-driven, creative, and emotionally aware. So for those of you who have younger folks in your life, is that true? Are you seeing that? Are they becoming more purpose-driven, creative, and emotionally aware? Success becomes more connected to alignment and authenticity, which is amazing going into AI, It's just really interesting how this whole energy is budding up, I find that really fascinating. So younger generations, so Mabel says to me, based on what Diane is saying, that younger generations may be rejecting traditional success models. Is that true? I don't know. I just don't. I used to know how 18-year-olds think for 30 years because I worked with them in higher ed. I just don't know anymore. This may be helping shift society towards healthier and more meaningful values. Diana says emotionally connected communities will become more important, which is again, like why I want to help us connect locally. Because we're connected, but we're really not connected. We're not connected. We are, but we're not. You know what I mean? Like we can read each other's comments, but we don't know each other really. You know me, but I've been talking about Faye forever, and we're finally, her and I, meeting face to face next week for the first time in a year and a half. I want to start doing more of that for the community. So it doesn't mean you have to be traveling, because I think that is going to be an issue right now. And it could be, she talks a lot about getting back to local, you guys. So the golden future, the whole issue with traveling and gas and all that, maybe we have to have some faith in that, that is happening right now. It feels a little scary, right? Because we don't know the outcome of how the transport of goods and services and all that's going to be. But maybe that's forcing us back to local rather than relying on, all countries are going to have to go local. What do we have here? Rather than relying on, and maybe that's where, because she talks a lot about that. So maybe we have to see this whole transition. I just got chills, so that is an indication that that's correct. So what do you guys think about that? If we looked at this whole fuel situation that way, rather than sat in fear about it, to me, I'm not in fear about it anymore because I feel prepared. I feel like I have anything that I would want over the next year or so. So if there's any disruptions, even more so that I could help other people if I needed to. Now I can just observe, but if we could look at this whole thing as it's forcing community to get back to local, that's actually what we want as humanity, that it will be much more peaceful, less exhausted if we get back to the local connections. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. So she said, emotional connected communities become more important. Meaningful human relationships become emotionally and spiritually necessary in the golden future. Today's growing loneliness, which we know there's a loneliness epidemic, is exposing what modern life is missing. Digital connection is not replacing real emotional connection. Yeah, you can't even sit on a bus or anything anymore without everybody's face, and you can't, nobody talks to anybody. Nobody looks at anybody. How is that going to change? I don't know. Maybe there needs to be a grid down for us to see it. Should we fear a grid down then? Will it be uncomfortable? Yes. But maybe we have to see it, cut, clear, cancel. Hopefully there's a better way for us to see it, but maybe that's how it's going to happen, for us to actually look at each other again. I don't know. I know you want to cut, clear, and cancel that whole idea, right? So people increasingly are people increasingly craving real world support and belonging, is the question. That's the question. Because if they are, then that would make sense that we would get more back to the local. Okay, one more. Let me see how many I have. I guess we'll get through this episode, I guess. Technology, Diana says, technology continues advancing. Humanity learns to balance technology with emotional well-being and intuition. So we probably have to see the tipping point of that, right, in order for us to get there. But technology will continue to advance in the golden future, but it will be used for emotional well-being and intuition. AI and emotional disconnection are forcing people to ask what parts of being human are sacred. That's cool. That might even be a good question to ask today during this time period that Steve Judd talks about, this breakthrough energy, is what parts of being human are sacred to you? If we all answered that question today, then we would send that energy out and say, hey, this part of being human is sacred to me. Authenticity, empathy, creativity, and real human presence become more valuable. Diana says authenticity and soul expression become highly valued in the 5D, in the golden future. People reconnect with originality and real identity. So the fear right now of losing authenticity in an artificial world maybe increasing the value of truth and genuine expression. So maybe we need to see this, what it feels like, this AI stuff. We need to see how that is so that we push ourselves towards more truth and spiritual expression that will help us get to the golden future. So people may be reconnecting with who they truly are underneath social pressure and performance. I know I am. I totally am. So Diana says life will become more calmer, slower, and more intentional. I have to say, I'm going to admit it right here. It's going to probably piss off some people. But I have to say, and I don't think we need it. But when the pandemic happened, and apparently you can't even say that word on YouTube. I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. Whatever. Who knows if that will ding my video, If you guys hype it though, it will help. When that happened, the world stopped basically, right? I'm sorry, but I enjoyed that so much. Now, did I enjoy people getting sick? 100%, 1000%. No. I got sick too? Nope. Didn't enjoy it. But I have to say, right, so we don't need that to happen for us to slow down. Or do we? Because I'm like, how are we ever going to slow down again? I don't know. Loss of fuel? That might help. That might do it too. It's just interesting to me because we on the one side we see people talking about how the plandemic, all right, the plandemic was planned by the cabal or whatever, the Committee of 300. We have people talking about that. Okay, so maybe it was allegedly entertainment purposes only. Perhaps it was. But was that still by design to help us see how a more slowed down life would be? Did anybody else enjoy the world just stopping for a short period of time? And what I really enjoyed is I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because there was nowhere to go. My husband and I have never enjoyed walks around our property like we did then. We literally sat in this room and threw a ball back and forth. We did puzzles. We did, my neighbors played music on their balcony. We have somebody who plays guitar and music, and we sat out in chairs and listened to him. We haven't done it since. It was beautiful. It forced us to do these things. And then right back to the hustle and grind afterwards. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Go there, go here, go, right back to it, all over the place, right? I have to say, I loved it. I loved that part of it. And yeah, I could have that part. I can do that in my life. It's so different when the whole collective was doing it, right? Really different for me anyways. So Diana does say the golden future, life becomes calmer, slower, and more intentional. Emotional peace becomes more important than constant stimulation. So the emotional exhaustion that many of us are feeling from digital overload may be pushing people towards simplicity and grounding, more grounding. We're having these conversations, right? We're having conversations about how to stay grounded. Stuff's popping into my awareness about how to stay grounded. So many people realize they cannot stay emotionally healthy while constantly overstimulated. She also says humanity becomes more intuitive and internally guided. So more intuitive and internally guided. Independent thinking and discernment become increasingly important. I think that's what we're learning today. That's why we're being pushed so hard to get to this place. I mean, I'm even starting to go inside, and I don't normally do that. I don't normally do it, but I'm finally getting to a place where it's just way more enjoyable, you know? Independent thinking and discernment become increasingly important. So blind trust and authority figures is collapsing. It's collapsing. And maybe we need it to collapse. And obviously they're panicking because we're not that interested anymore. And they're going to panic and they're going to try some goofy stuff, some shenanigans to help get that attention back. And we are saying collectively no more, right? But we got to go through that process in order to get here. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. Let me know what you're seeing. More people are reconnecting with inner knowing and conscious awareness. Many people are learning to trust their own observations and intuition more deeply. Is that true? I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. Okay, higher consciousness becomes more normal in everyday life. Here, humanity reconnects with spirituality, meaning, intuition, and energy. Growing interest in astrology, spirituality, and consciousness. There is a growing interest. You'll hear people who have been having these conversations. I mean, I haven't been having these conversations that long. But people who have been having these for 10, 15, 20 years, the David Wilcock and all the others who have been having these conversations for so long, Diana Cooper, are saying that so many more people are interested in these conversations. Well, that's perfect. That's proof in the pudding right there, you know? Material success alone no longer feels emotionally fulfilling for many people. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. So higher consciousness stays connected to safety, home, food, stability, and community. Diana says grounded people create healthier homes, relationships, and communities. Current instability reminds humanity that spiritual growth must stay connected to real-life balance. Grounded living becomes part of higher consciousness too. Grounded living. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to run out of time here because I was going to stop at 30 minutes, but you know, we're going to ask a few questions because I said I would. All right, I'm only saying I'm going to run out of time because my husband gets home fairly soon and I like to be done recording. Okay, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And on behalf of this community, we release all lower energies. We lovingly ask that they return to the light and align with love, peace, truth, compassion, and unity. And so it is. Okay, so I'm not going to do that whole declaration that I've been doing because we've been releasing, in my last 3 videos, releasing the withdrawal of consent. So we don't need to keep doing that. But I am going to say if there are any lower energies around us right now, that they either join us or consider going to the light. If they choose not to, that's fine. That's up to them. But we are staying in love, peace, truth, compassion, and unity in this community. So, okay. So lead team, hello. How's it going? Thank you for being here with us and partnering. We really appreciate it. I'm going to do the love challenge real quick. In the name of Christ, are you of the highest and purest light? Yes. In the name of Christ, are you of the highest and purest light? Yes. In the name of Christ, are you of the highest and purest light? Yes. Okay, thank you. You guys, that comes from the Golden Future. I got that from her. She's got 31, I think 30 or 31 spiritual laws in the Golden Future. So really, really good. And she's got a whole bunch of and I actually do these in the book club, but she's got visualizations for each area, and we do those in the book club, so the videos are recorded in there. So okay, so lead team, we've got some questions for you. Does humanity eventually move away from rigid top-down systems towards smaller community-centered living? Yes. And the only way to do that, you guys, is to see how the larger systems, how fragile they could be. And we're starting to see that. But I think, are we going to go through a little pain in order for us to see that we need to get back to community-centered living? Yes. Okay. Doesn't have to be pain, cut, clear, cancel. But are we going to have to go through that? That's probably part of the process, huh? Yes. Will future communities rely less on blind trust and more on personal discernment and responsibility? Yes. Is emotional manipulation through media becoming less effective as more people recognize it? Yes. I mean, I do see a lot of shorts from quite young people who are like, yeah, right, And I love that. Like, they're questioning stuff so much sooner than I did. Is it a little dark? And it's a little dark because we have clouds today. It's kind of raining. So I look a little dark, don't I? Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh my. Yeah, that one made a huge difference. I thought I turned that up. Okay. Could humanity eventually reject fear-based communication as emotionally unhealthy? Yes. Well, we're not there yet, you guys. Again, I know that from, I would expect the more fear-based titles we use to get less and less clicks for me and then the more positive based we use, that they get more clicks. When that starts happening, then I'll know that we're moving in that direction. Will nervous system regulation become one of the most important future health priorities? Okay, nervous system regulation. If you're not sure what that is, Google it or AI it. Are financial pressures right now exposing how emotionally unhealthy modern achievement culture has become? Yes. Is that the reason that we're having these financial pressures now? Yes. Okay. Are all of the things that we're experiencing today meant to help us move to this golden future that Diana talks about? Yes. Okay. So did Diana Cooper is that legit information that we're reading in her book? Yes. Okay. Very good. Very good. Obviously still use discernment. Yes. Will future generations define success more through emotional well-being than status and accumulation? Oh, I hope so. Yes, I have a feeling, you guys. I am extremely concerned about this, but it's probably got to happen. There are so many, and I have a feeling it's young men. Are young men the ones who are overly leveraged in the stock market right now? Yes. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, boy. I'm watching. The leverage is so bad, you guys. There is so much gambling. It's going to wipe out a whole bunch of people. I mean, wipe them out. Cut, clear, cancel, but it's going to, I'm afraid. And that's probably, now, does that need to happen in order for us to see that emotional well-being is more important than status and accumulation? Yes. Okay. So just be ready, you guys, to reach a hand out, because we're going to have a whole slew of people who it's coming. It's coming fast too. Just keep this is not financial advice, but keep an eye on that. The person I like to watch the most is FOFTY. That's his YouTube channel. He just gives an overview of and it's all factual of what's happening. So It's very, very helpful. Could loneliness become one of the biggest reasons people rebuild stronger local communities? Okay. So we've got to see loneliness, that we've got to see it, that this is happening for us to build those. Okay. So do you guys see, this is kind of why I wanted to do this series, because you can see now, I want to keep connecting what we're going through today and where we're going. Okay. So utilize this energy now. Just a reminder, go back, utilize the energy. I will put some of the questions you could ask yourself in the description. So if we all did a little bit of that reflecting today during this energy that Steve talks about, the astrologer, I think would be really helpful for us to focus on the golden future. All right. Okay. Let me just show you real quick. Again, I got a skedaddle, but I told you I would show you. These are 2 books that I got. I'll show you my stones tomorrow that I got. Okay. I told, if you listened to the video yesterday, you knew I was going to a stone shop. So I picked this up, this book. It was 75% off. I have no idea about Robert Simmons, but we'll find out. Stones of the New Consciousness. Healing, awakening, and co-creating with crystals, minerals, and gems. Co-creating. I don't know, that really resonated with me. Then I got this book, the Book of Moldavite. I was really interested. Same guy, Robert Simmons. So it says Robert Simmons has been working with crystals and stones for more than 35 years. He is the co-founder of Heaven and Earth, a company offering gem and jewelry creations for self-healing and spiritual and emotional development. I hope he's a good guy. I don't know. I just picked these up for 75% off, which was a good deal. Okay, so then I got this. Okay, let me show you one thing. And some of you know, if you've been around the channel for a while, that I did buy a piece of Moldavite a while back and I lost it. It's gone. Like, I've moved the couch. People thought maybe it was in the couch and stuff. I moved it. I can't find it. We probably vacuumed it up on accident. So obviously that piece was not meant to be with me. So, but I did buy this yesterday because I thought it was so pretty. So I don't even wear jewelry hardly, you guys, but that is Moldavite right there. And the reason I liked it is because it had these 3 pieces together. Let me see what the other one is. Oh yeah, Moldavite. The second one is meteorite. And the third one is a diamond. It's a Pacamere diamond. So I think these 3 together are pretty powerful. So, and it was 33% off. 33% off. So I'm probably going to be wearing that, but I probably shouldn't wear it more than like 15 minutes a day. My understanding of Moldavite, right? So yes, so that's what I got. And I did just get a few other stones. I guess my husband's not here yet. I'll just show them to you. I just got a couple. I keep collecting these small stones. I have a whole basket. So it just depends on what I don't have. I didn't have any of these, I don't believe. So I got some pyrite. Oh my God, so pretty. Some pyrite. That was $6. These are kind of expensive. I got, what is this one? Oh, this is interesting. This is called an Apache tear. Apache tear. Let me read this to you. Apache tear. I got this card. So this is, Apache tears are obsidian nodules. The legend of the Apache tear dates back to the 1870s. A group of Apache warriors were fighting the U.S. cavalry on a mountain in Arizona. Rather than be killed, the defeated Apache warriors rode their horses off the mountain to their death. Wow. When hearing about this tragedy, the wives and families wept. Legend has it their tears turned into stone upon hitting the ground. This obsidian is considered to be a powerful healing stone. It is said to absorb pain and aid in the grieving process. I don't know. Is that true? But how sad if that really happened. Okay, so I got that. That was only $1.25. I got a piece of this is hematite. I didn't have any hematite actually. So that was $5. I got a piece of jade. That was $1.75. So maybe you have cheaper places around you. I got green gold stone. Green gold stone. Look at that, you guys. See, oh yeah, you can see it. See the green? That's cool. That was $5. Green gold stone. And then I got green sakura. No, which one is this? Oh, this is silicon. This is silicon, I think. No, this is silicon. Look at that. It's very light too. I asked her, I said, is this a mineral? And she said, yeah. She looked it up. It is. Look at me. I'm in there. Silicon. And then this, I think this might be the jade. This might be the green sakura. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure which one this is, but this one is cool. It's got different, see that? I love that. So anywho, these are different ones that I didn't have. So let me know if you have Moldavite and what your experience has been. So I got to find a chain to put that on. So, all right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. And we're going to continue talking about the golden future because we're going to take advantage of this beautiful energy that we have right now, this breakthrough energy. All right. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.